African football fans, a very warm welcome. This is match day 13 of the Bundesliga, coming to you from DW Radio in Bonn. And today we are at the MHP Arena, the home of VfB Stuttgart. Everybody here getting ready for the Southern German derby and the visit of the table toppers Bayern Munich. They've got, of course, an 8-point lead over Leipzig, who are in second. Stuttgart, the hosts, are in sixth in the table, a massive 12 points behind Bayern. And as usual, we'll be keeping you up to date with all the Bundesliga's African players. And of course, we'll be looking at yesterday's draw for the World Cup and who the African sides will be lining up against. I'm Alex Sisto. It's Stuttgart against Bayern. Stay tuned.
And I am Buba Jallo alongside Alex Sisto here. A very big welcome from me too. Both Bayern and Stuttgart will be encouraged by their midweek performances in the German Cup. Stuttgart got a 2-0 win at second division Bochum, while Bayern managed to win at Union Berlin by 3-2 in a really tough encounter for Vincent Kompany's side. Alex, you know, the Bundesliga is in its 63rd season. There was an important encounter last night when bottom side Mainz took on Mönchengladbach, and the result there was 1-0 for Gladbach, Alex.
Yes, that was a tough game for Mainz because they are in desperate need of the point, and they sacked their very likeable Danish coach Bo Henriksen on Wednesday. Their under-23 coach Benjamin Hoffmann was the man in charge last night. But what can you do? Mainz lost 1-0. So Bayern, they were in action in midweek. They were so relieved at reaching the next round of the German Cup. The German Cup is a competition that Bayern have struggled in the past few seasons. Their last win back in 2020, and they played against Union Berlin, and I'm afraid, Buba, your side lost by 3-2.
But they made it lucky, though.
Very lucky, and it was a really tough game for Bayern.
That's right. It wasn't an easy match day for Bayern there because they struggled. If that was the header and there were 2 own goals, basically that's what they won that game. Otherwise, it would have been a bad day for Vincent Kompany and his Bayern squad.
Let's take a look at the lineups. Buba, tell us about the Stuttgart team.
The Stuttgart side, we have Alexander Nubel on goal, and the back 4 right there, Joshua Wagnerman, Amin Al-Dakhil, and also another central defender there, Ramon Hendricks. On the left-hand side, you have Maximilian Mittelstädt, and they have 3 holding midfielders. On the right-hand side, Nicolas Nazi, Jima Andres, who is the central midfielder, and on the left-hand side, you have Angelo Stiller. And the 3 attacking guys there, the central attacker is Dennis Undap as usual. On his left, he has Jamie Leveling, and on his right, there is Bilal El Kanous. And then let's take on to the visitor side Bayern as Alex struggles to get his equipment there. All right, you have in goal there, Jonas Urbing. Alex, are you back online? Right, Alex is back. Alex is struggling to get the equipment there. Let me just give you the lineup.
Slight technical problems, but we're back. We're back, Buba. So in goal, surprisingly, is Manuel Neuer. Not Manuel Neuer. It's Jonas Urbing. Okay. The back 4 for Bayern: Konrad Leimer in the right back position. The central defenders are Dayot Upamecano, Min-Jae Kim, and in the left back position again, the youngster Tom Bischoff. The holding midfielders are the classic ones, Leon Goretzka and Joshua Kimmich. And again, just like he played last week against St. Pauli, is Rafael Guerreiro playing in the 10 position, which is surprising because he's normally a left back, Rafael Guerreiro. Up front, Michael Olise on the right wing, Luis Diaz on the left, and Nicholas Jackson, the Senegalese striker. He'd certainly be looking forward to his World Cup appearances there against France and Norway. Senegal drawing France and Norway, and that, of course, we'll be looking at much closer in the course of the afternoon.
It's not going to be an easy World Cup for Senegal.
No.
Having Norway, who are currently at so much of fire right now, and France as well, one of the favorites to win in this tournament.
But Germany were very pleased with their group. They're very lucky, a very easy
group stage though.
However, a big but,
the knockout stages
yeah,
might be difficult for Germany because they might if they win all of their games, they might encounter France in the group of 16. But interestingly, they have Ivory Coast as well.
Ivory Coast, champions of Africa.
That's right.
AFCON winners. And of course, Ecuador, not bad at all. They finished second in the South America World Cup qualifying group. But let's stick here to the Bundesliga, and it's match day 13, and it's Bayern Munich playing from right to left, all in red, and Stuttgart in white with that red horizontal stripe across their chest. Nicholas Jackson, the Senegalese striker, preferred to Harry Kane today. Kane given a rest. Neuer, too, given a rest. Stanisic, Tar, Gnabry, Leonard, Karl, and Harry Kane and Pavlovic all on the bench. So plenty of firepower on the bench for Bayern.
Bayern does have it all. They have Manuel Neuer on the bench, so Jonathan Tah.
Just in
all
case.
All of them.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm a bit worried for Stuttgart because their defense looks very makeshift, because Jeff Chabot, the player that they call the bouncer because of his massive physical presence, Jeff Chabot, he's injured. Not really sure why he's on the bench. Well, it can only be because he's injured. And they're playing Amin Al-Dakil. He's a Belgium-Iraqi defender. And alongside Ramon Hendricks, who's usually a left back. So Al-Dakil and Hendricks in central defense. Let's see how Stuttgart work when they go forward. They've got Umdaf, of course, and that's a man they can rely on. And Bilal El Kanous, the Moroccan, on the right wing, and Jamie Leveling, the German Ghanaian, on the left. We've got an early yellow card.
We got an early yellow card there. I think it was for, Al-Dakil. He kind of pulled Nicholas Jackson down as he was trying to.
Yeah.
That was a really dangerous one, though.
Tugging at Nicholas Jackson and wrestling him to the ground. Yellow card for the Belgium-Iraqi player. Used to play for Burnley, of course, Al-Dakil. So he's got Premier League experience. But he's in the referee's book already, which is he's got to tread very carefully alongside Ramon Hendricks, the Dutch central defender there. Here are Bayern. This is Luis Diaz, who's been in good form. The ball picked up by Goretzka just outside the penalty area. Bayern concede possession, though, and this is Umdaf, Dennis Umdaf, who scored in midweek in their cup win. Stuttgart with for my eyes, a B-side here, but Sebastian Hoeneß trusts in his players. Shima Andres, the defensive midfielder, he's Spanish, and Nicholas Natai. These two players aren't usually in the Stuttgart lineup, but they are to the left and to the right of Angelo Stiller, and let's see how Stuttgart fare.
It does look like...
good work by Jackson. Jackson bearing down on goal, and he pulls his shot just wide there.
That was an opportunity for Bayern. Nicholas Jackson had a little bit of... it delayed it with that ball a little bit. If he had been very fast, he would have...
Al-Dakil under pressure there. Jackson should have cut inside faster. Surely the ball came off the Stuttgart defender. Surely it should be a corner to Bayern there. Nicholas Jackson doing well. Surely a corner to Bayern. He didn't give it. I can't believe it. He didn't give it. Okay, Alex Nübel, the Stuttgart coach, is of course a loanee. He belongs to Bayern Munich, but Bayern, as we see, seem to prefer Jonas Orbig as Manuel Neuer's successor. That was a bad foul.
That was a bad foul, I guess.
Another yellow card. Jamie Leveling getting into the referee's book very early for a foul on Olise. Jamie Leveling, the German Ghanaian, who is hoping he can make the German World Cup squad. Been playing well for Germany, but that was a heavy foul on Olise.
I think he was sort of saying that it was not intentional. He kind of slipped and fell on Olise.
Free kick to Bayern, and they're talking with the referee. Let me tell you who he is. The referee is 44-year-old lawyer Tobias Stieler from the Black Forest. This is his 201st Bundesliga match, would you believe? So plenty of experience.
Wow. He's got a lot of experience refereeing matches at the Bundesliga, of course.
He's a referee that we've seen. We know his face. He's been around for a very long time. Kimmich plays the ball out. That was far too high for Michael Olise. What could he do, Olise? Long ball forward, but unable to keep the ball in play, and it's a throw into Stuttgart. They've got to calm down because two of their players have already received yellow cards, Jamie Leveling and Amin Al-Dakil. So they'll have to take care that they finish this game with 11 men. Upamecano chasing back and plays the ball all the way back to Jonas Orbig. And Jonas Orbig plays the ball out to Tom Bischoff, who is the signing from Hoffenheim. Good player, Tom Bischoff, but he's usually a midfielder. So we've been surprised at seeing him in the left-back position, because that's where we'd expect to see Stanisic, but Stanisic is on the bench, and that we'd probably expect to see Guerrero. Here is Nicholas Jackson for Bayern on the ball. Good ball to his right. Finds Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz on the ball. Finds Olise just outside the box. Olise plays it to his right to Konrad Laimer. Laimer on the ball. Back to Olise. Slips it forward. Olise on the ball. Still Olise. Plays it to Min Jae Kim. This is Bayern's pressing at its best. The ball played into the penalty area, but Stuttgart managed to clear and try to break. Well, we're going to see Bayern pressing very high, Buba.
We are going to see Bayern pressing very high, and don't forget that this is not Bayern's first team. This is just kind of a rotational team. Some of the regular starters are in the pitch there, but most of the main guys are currently on the bench. You have young stars like Jonas Orbig also making, counting some of his match days there. Oh, opportunity
that
for
was
Bayern!
A foul. Surely that was a foul on Diaz. Play on, says Tobias Stieler, the referee. I thought it was a foul.
It was a foul on Diaz, but the referee obviously didn't give that to him. But as I was saying, Tom Bischoff and Jonas Orbig and some of the young kids all having the opportunity to get a match time.
Well, the stadium is in full voice, saying some very uncomplimentary things about Bayern, which we won't translate. And Stuttgart, of course, a very strong home side. And they're going to give as good as they get. Stuttgart against Bayern. So, Bayern under a little bit of pressure, but Olise, look at that, dropping back into his penalty area. Olise playing the ball back to Orbig. Orbig to Olise, and Olise back to Orbig. So, as we can see here, Bayern Munich ready to work, ready to run.
Being very in confidence there, playing towards their box.
Yeah, playing the ball around the box, which can be pretty dangerous.
It can be dangerous because one slight mistake, it's a goal. Conceding.
Yeah. Goretzka. Plenty of people saying this is probably Goretzka's last season, that he'll be leaving in the summer. So tough for Goretzka, of course, but he's been around for a very long time. Here comes
I was saying, mistake, opportunity for
Stuttgart. The ball appealed for handball there. The ball just rolling past the post. Still appealed for handball. Mittelstädt there, Maximilian Mittelstädt, the former Hertha Berlin player, pulling his shot just wide. He's playing in the left-back position today, Mittelstädt.
No, it's not a handball.
Not a handball, no.
Is that Kimmich? No, not Kimmich. That was Guerrero. Guerrero had his hand tucked over close to his body, so the ball touched his hand, but his elbow is kind of very close to his body, so I don't think the referee is going to give this one.
Both players, Kimmich and Angelo Stiller, they are, of course, teammates of the Germany side. As we watch the replay, it was a very close shot. Undaf and a few other Stuttgart players saying it was handball, but Stiller didn't want to know. Tobias Stieler, the referee, of course.
Not the other Stiller who is playing.
No.
Yeah, we have two Stillers here, so of course we've got to make the difference there.
Exactly, Angelo Stiller and Tobias Stieler. And the ball played back to Alexander Nübel. I wonder what must be going through his head. He still belongs to Bayern, and I mean, it's well known that he was hoping to be the official successor for Manuel Neuer, but as I said before, they seem to have decided that Jonas Orbig is the man. And what helps a lot, of course, is that Manuel Neuer likes Jonas Orbig and has been supporting him.
Right.
And that, of course, plays a big role. But
right.
if you ask me, I think Nubel is at the moment the better keeper, more experienced, more solid.
One.
I mean, don't forget Obi Kim from Cologne, where he played maybe a quarter of the season.
Well, you remember when I think 2 seasons ago, Alexander Nubel almost went to Stuttgart, almost stayed there, but because he had such a good season and Stuttgart were sort of like second on the table, and as a result, Bayern decided to keep him and extend his contract. The problem was Bayern could not make him number one because Manuel Neuer was still there.
Yeah.
So Bayern decided to extend the contract but keep him on loan to Stuttgart.
Complicated then.
That's right.
For both parties, of course.
Right.
But Nubel has found a very good place here at Stuttgart. The ball picked up here by Bayern Munich. Here they come. This is Olise. He's in the box. He's on the right side of the box.
Oh!
Slips it through. And it's a brilliant goal. And it's Konrad Laimer. Konrad Laimer, the right back, who backheels the ball into the back of the net. 1-0 Bayern. And
what a beautiful goal.
They're delighted with his skills because he was played through, I think, by Diaz and
Olise there, I think.
Olise maybe. And it was a difficult thing for any striker. He's not a striker, Konrad Laimer, but we saw his ball control brilliant there. He laid it to his right to Olise. Olise took on the defenders, and Laimer did a very clever, almost a Rabona there, almost a Rabona. Oh, what a brilliant goal.
Yeah,
what a brilliant goal.
A brilliant goal there. And it's so funny how a defender coming from all the way from the back, from the right back, and pushing so hard on the front line there, and having that 1-2-1-2 with Michael Olise, and having that back pedaling into.
Look at the delight on the Bayern bench. It's as if it's the first goal they've scored all season.
Right. I think everyone is having a really happy moment right now for that beautiful goal.
Stuttgart, well, they've got to pull their socks up. And the crowd not happy, because Olise was tying his laces there. Well, a spectacular goal by Konrad Laimer, the Austrian right back today. And he's been having some good games for Bayern in the past few weeks. And he crowned it today with a wonderful goal. Stuttgart, they've got to wake up. They've got to wake up, Stuttgart. They've not been very dangerous up front. They've not been dangerous at all up front. Let's be quite honest. They've got a good striker in Dennis Umdorf. They've got good wingers. Bilal El Kanous, the Moroccan who signed from Leicester City, he's been looking good. And Jamie Leveling, we all know what he can do on the left wing. Upamecano heads it forward. The ball bouncing around. Stuttgart pick it up. The referee, Tobias Stieler, seeing something wrong. I think it was an offside position there. And Bayern, of course, happy that they've taken this very early lead, because the crowd is massive here in the MHP Arena, formerly known as the Mercedes-Benz Arena here in Stuttgart. Of course, the car industry is so strong in this part of the world. Upamecano, surely, little push there, but it goes through to Obig, and Obig bowls it out to Dayot Upamecano. We're not really sure if he's going to stay at Bayern or if he's going to move. Quite a few clubs interested in signing Upamecano. He's a good defender, and he's surely to be at the World Cup for France. Wagnermann, Joshua Wagnermann, the German Ghanaian, not happy with the referee's decision there, and Bayern begin to build. Kimmich. Well, they've got the experience now to hold on to this lead and just to wait for another opening. We'll just have to wait and see how Stuttgart react.
That's right. But, you know, when you do such rotation, you've got to keep the main guys in there. And in this case, you could see Goretzka and Kimmich keeping the central defense there for Bayern. And at the back, you have Upamecano. In the front, you have Luis Diaz and Michael Olise. I think it's a brilliant decision there by Vincent Kompany to keep those main guys while at the same time rotating some of the other players, bringing in the youngsters, giving them opportunity and some play time.
Well, let's hope Nicholas Jackson gets enough service today from Luis Diaz and Michael Olise. Rafael Guerreiro playing just behind him. That is something that only Vincent Kompany knows what Guerreiro is supposed to be doing in that position, because he's usually a defensive midfielder or a left back. There have been goals in the other games. Wolfsburg, they've taken the lead against Union Berlin. Wimmer, the scorer there, the Austrian, is Wolfsburg 1, Union Berlin 0. And Augsburg, who of course sacked their coach Sandro Wagner, Manuel Baum, their former coach, is the interim trainer at the moment. Augsburg, they've taken the lead, surprisingly, against Bayer Leverkusen. Dimitrios Giannoulis, the scorer there, the Greek, and 1-0 there. Still no goals in the other games. Heidenheim taking on Freiburg, and Cologne face St. Pauli. And St. Pauli did very well in midweek because they beat Borussia Mönchengladbach at the Borussia Park in the German Cup to go through to the next round. That was a major surprise. St. Pauli played very well last week against Bayern at the Allianz Arena and conceded 2 goals in added time. That is typical for Bayern. St. Pauli losing 3-1, but 0-0, they're holding on at Cologne. That was a clash of heads there, Buba.
That was a clash of heads there.
Did you see what happened?
Yeah, I saw what happened between Goretzka and the youngster there.
Shima.
Shima.
Surely that was an elbow by Goretzka.
It does look like it, but I think the referee kind of trained. It's a clash. It's a duel between the two of them. So yeah.
Bayern 1-0 up. Konrad Laimer with a brilliant back heel past the goalkeeper Nübel, the stranded goalkeeper Nübel. And so Stuttgart tried to trouble the Bayern defense, but they're so experienced, of course. Good work here. Great work here by Stuttgart. The ball played across. It could have fallen.
Oh, that came really close.
Should have done better there. Nicholas Nartai, he's a Danish Ghanaian. He joined from Sandhausen. Nicholas Nartai doesn't get too many appearances. Joshua Wagnermann, the German Ghanaian, Germany Ivory Coast, he is Wagnermann.
That was a brilliant play there by Wagnermann. He actually he fought really hard to get the ball into the box, pushed very close there to Nartai. Nartai basically, his shot really didn't go too direct, otherwise it would have been dangerous for Bayern.
Bayern.
Opportunity
for Olise, and now comes Nübel to smother the ball under his body. Olise suddenly breaking through there.
Good defending, though.
Good defending. Let's just go through the players of African descent in the Stuttgart squad. We've got Joshua Wagnermann, Ivorian dad. In the squad is also Dan Axel Zagadou. He's French Ivorian. Justin Deal, the youngster who signed from Cologne. He's German Ghanaian. And, of course, Silas of the Democratic Republic of Congo. He's still on Stuttgart's books. Bilal El Kanous, he's one of the bright stars, the Moroccan. Nicholas Nartai, who's on the pitch, is Danish Ghanaian. And Bouanani, Badreddine Bouanani, he's Algerian. And, of course, Jamie Leveling, German, French, and Ghanaian descent. So those are the players of African descent in the whole squad. That doesn't mean they're all on the pitch. Some of them are on the pitch.
Not all of them are on the pitch, of course, as you mentioned there. But we see some who will be playing at the World Cup for the African countries, including Nicholas Jackson.
Nicholas Jackson, of course, the Senegalese striker. And it'll be interesting to see how he fares at the World Cup. And it's good to see him given the chance here. One of the rare occasions that he starts he makes the Bayern starting lineup with Harry Kane, let me remind you, on the bench and rested. So, interesting to see how Bayern carry on with this game. Do they defend? Let's put it this way, Buba. Bayern were brilliant in the first 8 or 9 games of the season, but now they're definitely beginning to tire.
You can see, because of the amount of games that they have to play, obviously, it's taking a toll on them. And right now, Bayern have not really they're not really defending that much, but they're also not really being aggressive.
Yeah.
You'd call it an administrative mode.
Administrative mode, indeed, very administrative. They've got, of course, a big match coming up on midweek against Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. And maybe that is why Harry Kane and Gnabry are being rested. But, of course, that's where their main interest is, of course. The Bundesliga is something they just take for granted, or many German fans take it for granted that Bayern are going to win the league. And of course, they have an 8-point lead ahead of Leipzig. It's even longer now, it's even bigger now, because Leipzig play later this evening against Eintracht Frankfurt.
Right, but I can say though, Alex, is that Bayern have actually built a template in that match against Paris Saint-Germain. Because of the style they play, because of they own that particular game, I think they are now banking on that style of play against any other bigger team that they meet. Anything not that, it's going to be like this, like what we're watching right now. A bit administrative, but at the same time, you know, keeping it quiet and cool until you get to the big boys and the bigger games.
They've got the experience to do that, of
Right,
course.
that's right. And they've got the talent too.
Yeah. Let me just drop a name here. Wisdom Mike. He's a young German-Nigerian. He's on the books of Bayern Munich. He's been often on the bench, even got some game time this season, Wisdom Mike. And that's the way his name is said. It's not Mike Wisdom, it's Wisdom Mike. He's a German-Nigerian. Sasha Bowie, of course, is French-Cameroonian. And Alphonso Davies, who we hope to see back maybe next week against Mainz. He was in the squad, but it's too early for him to come back. And Jamal Musiala, of course, hopefully in January we could see him return.
Right. I think I heard Max Abel, the sporting director there, saying that Jamal Musiala might have at least one game in this December.
This year.
Before,
yeah.
Just as, you know, as a token kind of.
Yeah.
So we might see Jamal Musiala.
We might see him. I mean, let me ask a terrible question. Do Bayern really need him?
At the moment, not really.
They're playing so
this
well.
Bayern team is so good.
Exactly.
That Jamal Musiala and Alphonso Davies, I mean, they will be needed when Bayern has got to play all of the Champions League matches and all these other games, including the German Cup. So they would need players like Alphonso Davies and Jamal Musiala to help back up players like, you know, the defense there, Guerrero, and even on the right flank there, Michael Olise.
Michael Olise doing wonderful things on the wing. So Wolfsburg 1-0 up against Union. Union have now won just one of their last 5 Bundesliga fixtures, and the Wolves, coachless, they sit just 1 point clear of the relegation playoff spot at the start of play, and they'll take that lead very gladly. Time for the Wolves to start picking up the points. What's more, they haven't won at home in the Bundesliga in 14 matches, would you believe? Wolfsburg going through a really difficult time. And how will Union react after losing to Bayern in the Cup in midweek? After a valiant display, well, they're 1-0 down at the moment in Wolfsburg. And quite a few players of African descent at Wolfsburg too. There's Sol Kombedi, he's French-Congolese, on loan from Lyon. Mathis Angeli, he's Martiniquais and Malagasy descent. Mo Amoura, of course, he's Algerian. He too looking forward to the World Cup. David Odugu, he's a young German-Nigerian. Moritz Jens, he's got a Nigerian father and a German mother. So plenty of players of African descent there. And Union, they too have players of African descent. Stanley Nsoki, he's French-Congolese. And Derek Kern, he's German-Ghanaian. And, of course, Ilyas Ansah, he's been one of the bright sparks of the Bundesliga. He's German-Ghanaian. And Oluwaseun Okmudia, he's German-Nigerian too. So those are the players involved in that game between Wolfsburg and Union Berlin, which Wolfsburg are leading 1-0. Here is Bayern Munich leading a slender lead. Is it a deserved lead, Uber?
It is a deserved lead, though. I mean, they played really okay-ish, but not really the best of one of Bayern can say. I mean, I'd say they deserve it because Stuttgart hasn't done anything different.
Bayern, 44 goals to 9 conceded, would you believe? The fortress of the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich, just 9 conceded, and you just wonder how many more they're going to score. Well, with today's goals, 45 goals conceded, not bad at all. Long ball forward, but it's picked up by Olise, who's impressed me a lot because he's been running back, doing a lot of covering for Konrad Laimer. When Laimer, the right back, is out of position, you can see Olise chasing back and covering the room that Laimer has left, maybe through his forward ventures. The ball played back to Jonas Orbig, and he's taking his time, young Jonas Orbig, plays the ball forward, and just look at the confidence they've got. Buba, they play the ball around that penalty area, their own penalty area, with such confidence.
I think it's the style of play that Vincent Kompany has kind of affected on this team.
Instilled into them, yeah.
It's instilled it into them, is that you've got your typical positions, but at the same time, does not mean that you have to be glued to that position.
Yeah.
That's why you see Michael Olise dropping way back to the defense and helping out there when Konrad Laimer pushes way up to the front.
There's a big hole at the back, and he knows Olise is covering for him.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, we've seen Harry Kane drop right back very often too.
Right, and he says he's comfortable playing 8, 6, and even sometimes central defender.
Maybe in goal would be a good idea too.
I don't know about that though.
Here's Nicholas Jackson outside the penalty area, tries to bend it, but it's way past the post there.
I think he bent it there for Guerrero for a header, but Guerrero was a bit
not on the same page there.
That's right.
Nicholas Jackson trying to lay it across, but it was closer than we thought. Yeah, Nicholas Jackson. He's scored 3 Bundesliga goals, and today in Harry Kane's position. Let's see what Bayern can do, and let's see precisely what Stuttgart can do. And that was pathetic from Nübel. He played the ball into touch under no pressure at all. It's a throw into Bayern Munich. It's picked up here just below us by Nicholas Jackson with the number 11 on his back, the Senegalese striker. Here is Goretzka. Goretzka on the ball, lays the ball across to his right. He finds Konrad Laimer, and it's Leimer's goal who's separating the two sides, would you believe? The ball played into the penalty area, but it's picked up by Laimer once more. But Stuttgart do well to clear the ball there, and opportunity for them to break. There's only Upamecano at the back, but Under forced back. And that was poor by Stuttgart, Buba. That was poor.
But Under was alone in the front against Upamecano, who is really physically strong. I guess it's the reason why he couldn't push alone there, because I don't think he has any chance on 1v1 with Upamecano.
Well, let me just give you the quick result from the Premier League. Arsenal, the team who beat Bayern Munich 3-1 a couple of days ago, they've lost for the first time this season. Arsenal losing 2-1 at Aston Villa. That is their very first defeat of the season. They've been unbeaten since the end of August, and Aston Villa moving up the table there. That was a very tight game. Trossard equalised a Matip Cash goal, and the winner coming very late in the 95th minute. Emiliano Buendia scoring for Villa there. Villa 2, Arsenal 1, but Arsenal are still at the top of the league. Opportunity here for
this
Stuttgart.
Is getting close for Stuttgart.
Clever back heel that, but so every series has to come to an end. Bayern came to an end against Arsenal, and that Arsenal series of an unbeaten run has come to an end too at Aston
Villa. Of course, it's not the Arsenal, the invisible that we knew during the time of Thierry Henry, when they had, I think they went 39 games unbeaten.
They just broke record after record.
Right.
And look at this, Buba. Augsburg on a 2-0 up against Leverkusen. Would you believe?
Wow.
Augsburg 2, Leverkusen 0, and Leverkusen maybe rather tired.
Opportunity, good shots there by
Mittelstedt, but Kimmich was in the way.
Right.
I was just going to say, Leverkusen might be tired after their victory at Borussia Dortmund in midweek. They won there by 1-0, knocking Borussia Dortmund out of the German Cup.
And it was a tough match.
It was a very tough match.
I watched that particular match.
Yeah.
Borussia Dortmund, they did well, but Leverkusen were way better. But that meant Leverkusen had to cover double or more of the space in the field than Borussia Dortmund, so that gave them a competitive edge.
They must be exhausted.
Absolutely exhausted.
And that's what the result reflects. 2-0 there. Augsburg struggling against relegation. They've been in the Bundesliga for a good 10 years at least now. And they're 2-0 up against Leverkusen. Manuel Baum, let me remind you, in place of Sandro Wagner. Sandro Wagner, who was sacked, sadly sacked. But that's what happens when your team loses game after game.
And you have to know that Sandro Wagner was the deputy coach to Germany's national team coach, Julian Nagelsmann.
Maybe he should have stayed there.
He should have stayed there, but he left that job to join Augsburg as the head coach.
Corner to Stuttgart, over that far side. That's the Stuttgart left. In he comes. It's a poor one. It's a poor one, and it's been cleared. Bayern.
I'm surprised why Leonard Karl is not in this game.
Well, he's probably thinking of the Champions League, and he's resting his players.
Yeah, but Karl is not a starting.
Not a regular starter.
He's not a regular starter.
Yeah.
And I think this is the kind of game where he could shine, where he could have a full 90 minutes.
Maybe we'll see him come on in the course of the
game. That's right. Yeah, but I was actually hoping that he would get a 90 minutes against a team like VfB Stuttgart.
Yeah, a commentator's dream, isn't he, Leonard Karl? Musiala,
that's
Karl.
Right.
These are such good players.
It's so entertaining
so
to watch
exciting to watch them. And Stuttgart trying to be entertaining and get the crowd going. The ball played in. There's a Stuttgart player down. Well, let me put it this way, Buba. Stuttgart, things not clicking for them today.
Absolutely, so far, not really. But you don't know. We still have a lot of time. We've only just played 30 minutes into this particular first half, and something could change for Stuttgart. But looking at the bench of Bayern, it's going to be a tough day.
It's going to be a tough afternoon for them, of course. Of course, it's always tough when you face Bayern. The fastest player on the pitch after 30 minutes is Niklas Nate. 34 kilometers. That's not bad at all.
That is not bad at all.
And just behind him is Nicholas Jackson, 33.8 kilometers. Very, very fast, those two players. And let's see if it remains like that all through the 90 minutes. I'd like to see Nicholas Jackson getting more service from the wings. What about you, Buba?
I think so too. If he starts getting those services there from Luis Diaz and Michael Olise, he might be able to, make an impact. But I was also wondering, the Leverkusen midfielder, Mazar has been voted as the rookie of the month.
Wow. The German Algerian, Mazar, who came from Hertha Berlin.
That's right, and he actually beat our youngster here, Bilal El-Khanous from Stuttgart, and Leipzig's Jan Diomande, who, you remember our last game together that we commentated. It was so entertaining.
Oh, Diomande was brilliant.
Diomande.
He plays for Leipzig, and he'll be facing Germany with the Ivory Coast, of course.
That's right. He didn't win the Rookie of the Month, but he plays with the Bundesliga. He's making an impact. We have a Bayern and
Diaz taking the knock there. Just let me remind you, another Ivorian player who will be facing Germany probably is Banzumana Touré of Hoffenheim.
That's right. And not to forget Allah, former Dortmund striker.
Okay.
Who, hey, remember him? He is still the top striker for Ivory Coast.
Okay.
And he'll be facing Germany as well. Allah, quite familiar in Germany.
Of course, Sebastian
Allah.
Yeah, of course, Allah, yes. It'll be an interesting game.
It would be an interesting
Ivory Coast, nothing to lose, as we see Harry Kane on the bench there alongside Hiroki Ito, who's been out injured for so long. Kimmich with a free kick to Bayern Munich in the center circle. Kimmich on the ball, turns, checks. He's the man who pulls the strings for Bayern for 90 minutes. The ball played out to the wing there. Oh, great work by Olise. He went past the defender, left him standing. Olise just outside the
penalty area.
Oh, what a mistake there by Nubel. It slipped out of his hands, and he'll be mighty glad that
he got lucky though.
Didn't go past him. He sees the funny side, fortunately, Nubel, but the ball squirming under his body, and it rolled agonizingly towards the post and past the post. That was some mistake by Nubel.
That was a mistake, but I think he's going to have a nightmare when he goes to bed tonight, looking back at that goal, but at the same time also happy.
I'm glad he saw the funny side.
That's right, looking at the bright side of his mistakes.
And he makes up for it because that was a very good catch. Oh, another big mistake by Nubel.
Goodness me.
The ball.
Nicholas Jackson actually batted the ball away from him. I saw that particular action there. We have a Stuttgart player who's currently down, But there's also another top there for a card for Nicholas Jackson, because Nobel had the ball in his hand and was about to take it through when Jackson batted the ball away. Let's watch that play.
Let's watch the replay. Nubel came out, caught the ball rather gingerly, and it was a mistake by Nubel.
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake by Nubel. Let's try and describe this for our listeners. He came out, the Stuttgart keeper, caught the ball and just tried to bowl it overarm, and he hit a Bayern player, Rafael Guerrero.
But actually, first of all, he touched his hand and the ball touched Nicholas Jackson.
And look, the Stuttgart player lying in the goal, let me put it this way, Booba, I think he's making the most of it.
It might look like maybe a little bit. I think he's hurt. He's hurting right now. That's why he's lying in the goalpost there, and he's been getting treatment there. And
well, it's been some interesting moments for Alex Nubel. He's been in the center of action for the past few minutes now. The crowd really angry, but we're not really sure why they're so angry. As we see that brilliant goal by Konrad Laimer once more. The ball played in by Olise, and back heel there by Laimer to make it 1-0 to Bayern, and that's the goal separating these two sides. Not really sure if the player is still receiving treatment. Well, there you go. Alphonso Davies is on the bench, but the comeback planned for next week against bottom of the table Mainz. And Bayern, of course, looking for stars for the future. There's a 17-year-old Ecuadorian player, Virgilio Olaya. They want to sign him. He's a young player. And Ryan, he's a Brazilian from Vasco da Gama. And a defender called Souza from Santos. So Bayern certainly looking at the South American market for the future.
That's right. And actually saw this action that happened to Angelo Stiller, why he fell down there. He got a knock from the elbow of Dayot Upamecano.
Okay.
During this corner kick. Upamecano went in there and knocked Stiller on his face, and I think
my apologies to Stiller, of course.
That's right.
He's taken a heavy knock there, and he's looking rather dazed, Angelo Stiller. So apologies to Stiller, as we see Jogi Löw.
Joachim Löw.
Sitting alongside Dieter Hoeneß, who's the brother, of course, of Uli Hoeneß. And Jogi Löw, I saw him in a talk show a few weeks ago, and they asked him about that 2014 World Cup tournament, and it was so interesting to hear it all from his perspective, all the anecdotes that he had and all the difficulties that Germany faced on their way to the final. It was a fascinating program.
Right.
Well, there's a foul on a Stuttgart player, much to the anger of the crowd here, and it's another yellow card. Not really sure who it is. It's Kimmich, and it's not often that Joshua Kimmich picks up a yellow card.
That's right.
And Tobias Stieler, he's got plenty of work. It's not been a good game, though, Buba. It's not been a good game. What do you say?
It's not been a good game either, but you see Tom Bishop bringing Jamie Leveling down there, knocking him down a little bit. But I don't know exactly why that particular yellow card went to Joshua Kimmich and not Tom Bishop.
Interesting that. It's interesting that. And it's a free kick in a rather dangerous position for Bayern Munich. And Jonas Orbig standing in for Manuel Neuer. He's directing his wall, and I think it's going to be Bilal El Khanous. He's going to take the free kick for Stuttgart. He raises his arm. El Khanous, one of the stars of this Bundesliga season. In it comes. It's a good goal.
Oh, it's a
goal for Stuttgart. A goal for Stuttgart. It's the equaliser. And I think it's Shima. Not really sure who got that strong header.
It does look like it is actually.
Not really sure, but they won't mind. It's 1-1 here.
It is Nicolas Nate.
Nate, the scorer, getting the header there. And it was a brilliant free kick by El Khanous, I thought.
That's right. It is a brilliant free kick there. As you said, it's a dangerous position.
Oh, they're checking offside now. They're checking offside. Oh, VAR is going to come in. Let's see.
This is bitter.
It is so bitter.
And during halftime show, actually, I have some information about new rules that FIFA is going to bring in, using technology to detect offside, communicating that offside, directly to the linesman and not anyone else to actually reduce the delays in all these VAR decisions. This is something that FIFA might be deciding in January at the IFAB conference.
Well, I thought the ceremony yesterday was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. I don't know why the media are so cruel on FIFA. I think that they're going to organise a brilliant World Cup that we're all going to watch in the end and we're all going to enjoy it.
Let's just put it this way. Football is very European.
Yeah.
And what happened yesterday or on Friday, this was an American show.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you can understand, but you can also understand the criticisms as well. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm a bit like halfway.
I'm just looking at it from a footballing point of view. I'm just looking forward to another brilliant tournament organised by FIFA. The Qatar World Cup was wonderful. In spite of that too, we had a lot of bitter criticism, but I thought it was a wonderful World Cup.
It was, but
no trouble, no alcohol. It was a great World Cup the Qataris put on, and let's hope USA, Canada, and Mexico will enjoy a similar World Cup.
That's right, and as well, U.S. President Trump being at the center and focal point of this particular tournament, I guess, is one of the reasons why people criticize Gianni Infantino for causing up too much to President Trump.
Well, he is the host after all, so
that's right.
Let's give him center stage,
and make him a peace prize, a FIFA
giving
peace
him
prize.
a FIFA peace prize. Well,
that's right.
That's a first, and I'm sure he won't be the only one who's going to win the FIFA peace prize. There'll be many others after him.
A lot of people are going to, win that prize, and of course, tribute to them for their work they do. I mean, this might be a controversial one, but I think it's a good initiative.
I think it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
And we still don't know if that goal's going to stand or not. In case our listeners are wondering, does that goal stand or not, Buba?
The referee is still discussing, having a chat with Angelo Stiller, Konrad Laimer,
VAR,
Jamie Leveling,
VAR has spoiled,
Nicolas Nate
has spoiled so many goals and so much celebration.
I hope this is going to change at some point, because there are some changes that are going to come in there to help reduce the VAR time.
These inches when a player's offside, that for me makes no sense.
That's right.
I'd say look, he's going to disallow the goal.
Okay, let's see
Wir haben das Tor für Stuttgart überprüft. Nummer 28 stand im Abseits. Finale Entscheidung.
Number 28 stands on
Abseits.
Number 28 standing on offside. So Nicolas Nate was an offside. That particular ball is not a goal.
Oh, this is, for me, VAR has destroyed a lot of celebrations, and I think a player should only be deemed offside if a large part of his body is offside.
I think it's a bit too tiny.
Yeah, exactly. Not just his sleeve or his little finger.
That's right.
Oh, come on.
It's an annoying. Football thrives on emotion, and those little things, like it's what brings in the emotion. And I think we should be celebrating the tiny ones and actually accepting that, not allowing technology to destroy the tradition and the sports that we all love. But this is football, and this is the new technology we have in AI.
Another yellow card. Tobias Stieler gets it out, and this time it is Mr. Upamecano goes into the book.
Many yellow cards today.
We've
had
many. 4 yellow cards, 2 for Bayern, 2 for Stuttgart. Upamecano and Kimmich on the receiving end there. That was a foul.
Actually, that one was for Tom Bishop, not really for
Kimmich. Really? Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, it was for Tom Bishop.
Okay.
But I think Kimmich, as the captain, as the acting captain on the field right now, always talking to the referee. So from our vantage point, we saw that it was for Kimmich, but it was actually for Tom Bishop.
Right. You mean the first?
The first one.
Okay, the first one.
Right.
Free kick to Stuttgart. Well, I think they deserve to be back in this game. They put on a good performance till now, and had that goal cruelly disallowed a few moments ago for an inch of offside. An inch. It's going to be a free kick to be taken by Dennis Undav, the German-Turkish striker. He's certainly going to be at the World Cup. I think Undav tries to bend it, but it's way over the crossbar there.
Way too high there.
Way too high. And Bayern still with a very slender lead. Augsburg 2-0 up against Leverkusen. Wolfsburg, the Wolves, 1-0 up against Union. No goals between Heidenheim and Freiburg.
I think
between Cologne and St. Pauli.
Bad news for us, Union Berlin there. I see we are 2-0 down.
Not really sure. It does look like it. You're right, Buba. Wolfsburg are now 2-0 up. Amoura, the Algerian striker, making it 2-0. And they're going through a difficult time, Union Berlin. They seem to be tiring dramatically at this stage of the season. And this is why they're 2-0 down. Wolfsburg desperately needing a win. The ball picked up by Jackson. Jackson lays it across to Tom Bischoff. Bayern want that second goal. Here's Luis Diaz teasing the defender just outside the penalty area. He goes inside, plays it in. Oh, good stop that was by Nubel. Bayern coming very close to a second goal there. Nicholas Jackson involved. And Al-Dakhil doing
took
well.
One for the team.
Yeah, he took one for the team. That must have been very painful. I guess all the guys understand. Well done, Al-Dakhil, as the Stuttgart supporters bouncing up and down there. And Nicholas Jackson waiting for that corner to come in. He looks very detached from the game, but then suddenly he can wake up and spring.
That's right.
Surprise on the defenders, as he's doing right now. He's beginning to move around, Nicholas Jackson, moving around in that box. And Kimmich is going to take the corner from the left-hand side. In a packed stadium here. In it comes. It's a high one. Upamecano coming in, but the ball goes across back to Kimmich. And here's Olise just below us. Michael Olise on the ball. Olise plays it back to Tom Bischoff. Tom Bischoff in the left-back position today. He finds Lima. Lima plays it across to Upamecano. Upamecano trying to take on too many defenders, and he's forced to play all the way back to Min-Jae Kim. Back to Upamecano. They don't panic, Bayern, do they, Buba?
They look very confident the way they play right now. And they're doing a good job in keeping possession and finding the little spaces between the Stuttgart players.
Indeed. Long ball forward here, maybe for Stuttgart.
Then it's Undaf.
Well under control by Undaf. And there's a hopeful ball played down this right-hand side. And it's picked up by Stuttgart. They've got a little bit of space. Here's Wagnermann. Wagnermann plays it in.
Could that be a goal opportunity?
Coming closer and closer, Stuttgart. Bayern allowing Stuttgart to keep coming down this right-hand side. I think
El Kanous there didn't actually take a proper strike, but he got an opportunity to shoot that ball. He pretty much laid it very quietly.
Yeah, I think the right-hand side of the Bayern, I think young Tom Bischoff's been caught out of position a few times, and that's why Stuttgart have been targeting this right-hand side the whole time.
Right.
Not so much happening down the other side, because as we pointed out, when Lima goes forward, Olise tracking back, but Luis Diaz not tracking back maybe enough to help Tom Bischoff when he's out of the fence.
That's right. And if you're following this particular game on a social media platform, come to our YouTube page, DWAfrica, and tell us what you think about this game. Leave a comment there. We will try and get out to your comments.
And you can hear it, of course, on YouTube.
That's right, on YouTube. And we are also broadcasting via our partner stations in Nigeria. We have Repower Radio. We also have UBC Radio that is currently rebroadcasting this live. And a big shout out to every one of you, of our listeners there on UBC Radio in Uganda.
Yes, greetings to all our African listeners. We love to know you're there every Saturday afternoon and listening to the Bundesliga every Saturday afternoon at the same time. Bayern Munich trying to build an attack, but Stuttgart still have to be critical of them. They've not played particularly well, although I have to say they deserve to be on 1-1.
That's right, they do deserve to be 1-1, but we see Stuttgart on the offensive there. A player being brought down by Upamecano.
Two Stuttgart players brought down by Upamecano.
Could that be a goal?
Oh, that should have been a goal.
They came really close.
What a chance there. Shima, the Spaniard, he should have scored. Shima Andres.
What an opportunity there for Stuttgart.
Upamecano playing very dangerously there. That was a two-footed tackle on the Stuttgart player.
Right on the edge of the box there.
Oh, he should have pulled his shot a bit closer to the keeper there. And as we watch the replay there, well, I think that was a foul.
It does look like a foul, but maybe Stuttgart, I think Shima there came very, very close to the box and was brought down there by, it was a tactical foul, but not really a foul that you'd have to call. I guess that's the reason why the referee decided to let that go. A very, very lucky call for Dayot Upamecano there.
Goodness me, Stuttgart, all in all, would deserve to be on level terms. Ball picked up by Bayern. Kimmich. Stuttgart pressing well. Just look at that. Bayern with difficulties. Here's Nicholas Jackson in the centre circle. He does well to play the ball across to Tom Bischoff. Here comes Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz trying to take on a defender. He's forced to play back to Konrad Laimer. Laimer finds Kimmich. All this in the Stuttgart half, mind you. And Bischoff back to Luis Diaz, and Luis Diaz plays it calmly back to Min Jae Kim. And he finds Upamecano, his partner at the back there. And Bayern trying to build with a long ball, trying to pick out Olise. But it's a little push on Olise, much to the anger of the crowd here.
Mittelstadt is a bit surprised why Olise is complaining, but there was a contact there. And if you can see again,
well,
I think it was sort of like his elbow that hit.
The tiniest of pushes.
A little bit. But contact was there. And as long as there's contact there, obviously.
You know, we've got a saying in Germany, which is Bayern Bonus, which means decisions always go Bayern's way.
Right. Bayern Bonus is like a bonus for Bayern there, because Bayern is the master champion of the Bundesliga.
33 times they've won it. And
that's right.
On their way to picking it up another title. Stuttgart, little foul there by Nicholas Jackson. Free kick to Stuttgart in their own half. Here they come. Bayern had been committing quite a few fouls in this game. That's very unusual. Here's that was a foul on Leveling by Goretzka. The crowd getting very agitated here because Bayern committing quite a few fouls.
But I think Jamie Leveling came down too easy. There was, yes, a contact there by Goretzka, but it came down way too easy. So, of course, Goretzka was not happy about that. And don't forget that these are two players who played as well for the national team. So, of course, they know each other.
Luis Diaz helping out to the back. You see, he must have heard us, Buba. He must have heard us because Luis Diaz dropping back to help Tom Bischoff out in the left-back position.
That's right. Tom Bischoff is not really one of the best left-back there. I think this is the usual position of Rafael Guerreiro, but surprising to see Bischoff playing that role. And
I just don't understand what Guerreiro's doing just behind Nicholas Jackson in the number 10 position.
Let's be honest. He's not a number 10 player.
No, he's certainly not.
He's good at coming from the back and having his. Yeah, that's right. Because he's got speed, he's got agility, and he could actually make use of that. But in the 10 position, I don't think he's that intelligent enough in his football.
Ball played across. Stuttgart trying to force a save from Orbeek, but it's offside. Says Tobias Stieler. He looks at his watch at just a few seconds remaining. Well, we've had 8 minutes of added time, would you believe, Uber? 8 minutes of added time.
Yeah, think about all the VAR decisions there and all the time it took for the referee to talk with those players and get this. And so, of course, I can understand why we do have 8 minutes added time here.
Goal kick for Bayern to be taken by Jonas Orbeek. Bayern with a slender 1-0 lead. Konrad Laimer, the scorer there. And there goes the half-time whistle. Well, it's been a frustrating afternoon for Stuttgart. They should be on level terms. They had a goal disallowed for offside. Bayern already on 2 yellow cards. Stuttgart too, though, with 2 yellow cards. It's been a strange second half, and a bit difficult to believe that it's only 1-0, that we've only seen 1 goal, Buba.
Right, we've only seen actually equalizing there. Oh, yeah, because there was an equalizing which was taken back away from Stuttgart because their player there was considered to be an offside, Nicolas Nate, and that referee took that goal away. Yes, we are now into halftime. Don't go anywhere. We have a really beautiful report, a beautiful show mixed with best African music that you can enjoy. So stay tuned to DW Africa.
Bundesliga Radio. Live.
It's a beautiful Saturday across Germany. That is if you can ignore the chill and the flu season. Welcome to the halftime show on DW's coverage of match day 13 in the Bundesliga. We're counting down to the Christmas break, and these are some of the last big games before the curtain falls on 2025. Stay tuned for scores, analysis, and all the drama from today's action right here on DW. My name is Buba Jallo. The road to World Cup glory is clear after Friday's draw in Washington. The first ever 48 tournament kicks off June 11 across the USA, Mexico, and Canada. FIFA will confirm venues and kickoff times later. Holders Argentina start against Algeria in Group J, joined by Austria and debutants Jordan. Spain, reigning European champions, face Cape Verde, Uruguay, and Saudi Arabia in Group H. England meet Croatia, Ghana, and Panama in Group L, while France take on Senegal, Norway, and a playoff winner. Germany's Group E includes Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Curacao. Brazil headline Group C with Morocco, Scotland, and Haiti. The US drew Paraguay, Australia, and a European playoff winner. With an extra knockout round, the path looks treacherous. England could face Brazil and Mexico, while France and Germany may collide early. Argentina and Portugal could meet in the quarters. With an extra knockout round, FIFA President Gianni Infantino calls it the greatest World Cup ever, like 104 Super Bowls in 1 month. Germany coach Julian Nagelsmann is keeping his focus on the group stage after the 2026 World Cup draw. Germany will face Curacao on June 14, Ivory Coast on June 20, and Ecuador on June 25. But the real talking point, a possible clash with tournament favorite France in last 16. Big news for Nigerian football. Former Super Eagles captain William Trest Okon has announced his retirement from international duties just 19 days before the Africa Cup of Nations kickoff. The 32-year-old defender, capped 83 times, was named player of the tournament at the last AFCON and even scored in the final against Ivory Coast. His last appearance came in a World Cup qualifier win over Lesotho 2 months ago. Trostekon, now playing in Saudi Arabia, said in a social media post that representing Nigeria was the greatest privilege of his life. His decision means coach Eric Chelle will have to rethink his plans as Nigeria prepare to face Tanzania in their opening game on December 23. Mali coach Tom Saintfield has called for greater respect for African football after FIFA's surprise decision to delay player release for the African Cup of Nations. Clubs now have to release players from December 15, just 6 days before the tournament kicks off in Morocco on December 21. Saintfield said the timing is never perfect, but insists Africa must do what's best for its game and climate, not just Europe's schedule. The late release has already forced Mali to cancel warm-up friendlies ahead of their Group A opener against Zambia on December 22. The 35th AFCON runs until January 18th, and Morocco hosting what promises to be a fiercely competitive tournament. It's been billed as Müller versus Messi and Messi versus Müller. The MLS Cup final is about two global icons going head-to-head once again, 11 years after their clash in the 2014 World Cup final in Brazil. Back then, Müller and Germany triumphed over Messi and Argentina. Now, Thomas Müller leads Vancouver Whitecaps against Lionel Messi's Inter Miami in what's been called the perfect final. Müller, who left Bayern Munich this summer after 25 years, says the game is his top priority. Right now, the final is the most important thing in my life, Muller said. He's already made his mark in North America, winning the Canadian Championship and forging strong ties with Vancouver fans. Meanwhile, Messi has collected trophies since joining Miami in 2023, but this is his first MLS Cup final. He's backed by familiar faces, Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, and possibly Luis Suarez, all playing their last match before retirement. Miami's coach Javier Mascherano and teammates Rodrigo de Paul and Busquets add even more World Cup pedigree to the lineup. For Vincent Kompany, Muller's former coach, it's no surprise. It's typical Muller, pick up a club and go straight to the final, Kompany said. Kickoff promises more than just two superstars. It's a clash of styles, history, and emotion, and North America is ready for a blockbuster showdown. A major betting scandal is rocking Turkish football. Prosecutors have ordered the detention of 46 people, including top-flight players, club presidents, and commentators, in a widely probe into insider betting. Last month, the Turkish Football Federation suspended 149 referees after discovering officials were betting on matches. They then spread wider, 8 arrests, a club chairman among them, and over 1,000 players banned. On Friday, Istanbul prosecutor confirmed 32 new detentions with 5 suspects still abroad. Among those flagged are 27 players accused of betting on their own games, including stars from Galatasaray and Fenerbahce. Tensions are rising in German football. Eintracht Frankfurt board spokesman Axel Hellmann is warning clubs to tread carefully as the dispute between women's Bundesliga teams and the German Football Federation deepens. The 14 women's Bundesliga clubs have announced plans to break away and form their own league organization, the FBL, without the DFB. Originally, the FBL was set to launch jointly with the federation at its campus on December 10th. Instead, it will now be founded at Frankfurt Stadium on the same day. According to Bild newspaper, the dramatic move comes after what clubs called unacceptable demands from the DFB following contract talks. It's a showdown that could reshape the future of women's football in Germany. And if you really like this program, go to our YouTube page, DWAfrica, and give us a like or a comment. And now a quick music break from the legendary Senegalese singer Youssou with this song called Birima. All right, Mainz are making swift changes at the bottom of the Bundesliga after parting ways with coach Bo Hendrickson on Wednesday. Following 8 games without a win, the club has now named under-23 boss Benjamin Hoffmann as the caretaker coach for Friday's clash with Borussia Mönchengladbach. But Hoffmann's stint will be short. Board member Christian Heidel says a new permanent coach could be unveiled as early as this weekend. Mainz have just 1 win from 12 league matches and are desperate to turn their season around. Bayer Leverkusen coach Kasper Ullmann says Augsburg's recent coach changes won't affect his team's preparations for Saturday's Bundesliga clash. Augsburg parted ways with Sandro Wagner on Monday, bringing in Manuel Baum, but Ullmann insists his focus is on Leverkusen's own game. Leverkusen head into the match fresh from a 1-0 German Cup win over Borussia Dortmund. Ullmann admits an away trip to Augsburg is always tough, but says his side is ready. Bayern Munich are through to the German Cup quarterfinals after a dramatic 3-2 win at Union Berlin. The record winner struck from 3 set pieces, 2 own goals and a hurricane header to edge past Union weeks after a tense Bundesliga draw between the sides. Holder Stuttgart cruised into the last 8 with a 2-0 victory at Bochum, helped by an own goal and a red card for the host Freiburg beat Darmstadt 2-0, while second-tier Holstein Kiel. The quarterfinal draw takes place Sunday with matches scheduled for February. FIFA is considering major tech upgrades for the 2026 World Cup. Officials say they want to introduce referee body cameras and an advanced semi-automated offside system. Both tested successfully at this year's Club World Cup in the US. The body cam feature a branded referee with you would show fans exactly what the referee saw during key moments, streamed to TV and stadium screens. FIFA also tried faster offside alerts sent directly to assistant referees to cut delays. Any changes need approval from football's ruling body, IFAB, in February. Bergolini Colina, head of FIFA's referee committee, says stricter timekeeping rules for goalkeepers are also on the table to speed up play. FIFA insists the goal is simple, use technology to support referees and keep the game flowing without changing football's tradition. England boss Thomas Tuchel says his players are brave enough to dream of lifting the World Cup next summer. And thanks to FIFA's new Wimbledon-style seeding system, the path looks promising. England can't face Spain or Argentina until the semis, and France only in the final, if all win their groups. Tuchel, appointed last autumn with one clear mission, wants to add a second star to the England shirt, joining the one from 1966. For Tuchel and his squad, the dream is alive and the countdown is on. Jesse Lingard is saying goodbye to South Korea. The former Manchester United and England star announced he leave FC Seoul next week after 2 seasons in the K-League. Lingard made over 60 appearances but didn't win any silverware. His final game comes December 10 against Melbourne City in the AFC Champions League. The 32-year-old gave no hint about his next move, but FC Seoul confirmed he wants to move on to the next stage of his career. Lingard called the decision to leave Seoul not an easy one. And here are the latest Premier League results. Tuesday, Everton edged Bournemouth 1-0. Manchester City beat Fulham in a 9-goal thriller 5-4, and Newcastle drew 2-2 with Tottenham. Wednesday, Aston Villa won 4-3 at Brighton. Arsenal beat Wolves 1-0. Crystal Palace took a 1-0 win at Burnley. Liverpool were held 1-1 by Sunderland, and Leeds stunned Chelsea 3-1. Thursday, Manchester United and West Ham shared the points in the 1-1 draw. Now, the top of the table, Arsenal lead with 33 points. Manchester City follow on 28. Aston Villa third with 27. Chelsea sit fourth on 24, and Crystal Palace and Sunderland are tied on 23. At the bottom, Burnley have 10 points, and Wolves remain last with just 2. That's it. Thanks a lot for listening. Back to match day 13 of the Bundesliga with all of the live updated scores with Alex Sisto and me, Uba Jallo. Welcome back to the second half of match day 13 of the Bundesliga. We are live at the MHP Arena in Stuttgart as the Stuttgart take on the master champions of the Bundesliga, that is Bayern Munich, playing from left to right today in their all red jersey. And we see Bayern also making some changes now. Alexander Pavlovic getting into the field. I'm wondering, Alex, not Pavlovic, sorry, Alex is just telling me they are Stanisic.
Yeah.
They look similar though.
Yeah, and the names are so similar.
Yeah, Stanisic and Pavlovic.
One is Serbian heritage, that's Pavlovic,
yeah,
and one is Croatian, that's Stanisic.
And they're both German.
And they're both German, yeah. So
interesting.
Difficult to keep those two apart.
That's right. So Stanisic is in there for, let's see who went out. Okay, I'm trying to get the changes, but anyways, let's go on.
I think Stanisic has come on for Tom Bischoff.
Okay, yeah, it's right. Tom Bishop is out.
He had a dodgy game in that left back position.
That's right. But apart from that, no other changes that we have so far. Stuttgart are still playing with the same team from the first half.
Yeah, as far as we can tell, no changes there. So Josip Stanisic, the Croatian defender, coming on there for Tom Bischoff, as Stuttgart have been making time and time again inroads down that right side, which is the left back's position, and we noticed that, and so did Vincent Kompany.
They did notice that as well. They saw that Stuttgart were aiming coming from the left, and you have to understand that Jamie Leveling, who was playing there against Tom Bischoff, is faster and more experienced than Tom Bischoff. So of course, he overpowered him.
Very true. Difficult man to stop, Leveling. Well, the surprise scoreline for me, Buba, is Augsburg 2-0 up against Leverkusen.
I'm also so surprised.
I mean, Leverkusen, we thought they'd be very confident after knocking Borussia Dortmund out of the cup on Tuesday. And Augsburg, after sacking their coach Sandro Wagner, they've suffered 8 defeats in 12 league games, but they're 2-0 up against Leverkusen there. Plenty of players of African descent in the Augsburg squad. They've got Chrislin Matsima, he's French-Congolese, and they've got Hanoa Masengo, he's French-Congolese too. Samuel Assendi, of course, he's Congolese. Steve Mounier, he's Benin, but he's on loan in Turkey at the moment. Elias Saad and Ayman Dardari, they are Moroccan. Alexis Claude Maurice, he's French with roots from Madagascar. And Ismail Gabi, he's from Tunisia, as we see Stuttgart trying to trouble the Bayern defense, but there's Stanisic in a more accustomed left-back position there, and Nicholas Jackson trying to make himself available there and hoping for that ball. Let's see what Nicholas Jackson can produce in this second half. He was involved in a few interesting moments in the first half there with Alexander Nübel, as Jackson chests the ball down, does well, lays it to Kimmich. Kimmich finds Olise, plenty of space for Bayern. Olise's got Lima on the overlap, but good defending there by Stuttgart. Lima on the ball, on the edge of the penalty area. Konrad Lima lays the ball across to Kimmich. Kimmich, was he brought down? Play on. It comes back to Olise. Olise taking on the defender.
Oh, the usual.
Olise, just over the crossbar there.
The usual dribble to the right, cut into the left, and take a shot.
Good work by Olise, just over the crossbar there. And Stuttgart, well, I think, Buba, a second goal would finish Stuttgart off, don't you think?
Absolutely. This Bayern team right now, and we actually saw that very brilliant ball there by Michael Olise. The usual way of playing, gets the ball, takes it towards the right, confuses the defender, and then cuts into the left, and then take a very, very good shot. And this time around, that shot went over the post. It would have been dangerous there. And of course, look, Stuttgart are watching out that this does not happen, as we see Min-Jae Kim on the left-hand side playing there to Pavlovic, Stanisic, as I keep mixing their names there.
There's Guerrero, that was, and but the Stuttgart press doing very well on keeping Bayern at bay, but it's picked up once more by Bayern Munich. Can they get Nicholas Jackson involved? He needs a little bit more service, the former Chelsea striker, but he could be back at Chelsea soon. The ball played across. Nicholas Jackson, I think, still belongs to Chelsea, and he might return to Chelsea unless Bayern decide to keep him. But it's a difficult position for him to be in. But he's been doing reasonably well, and he scored a handful of goals for Bayern.
He hasn't done magic so far since he joined Bayern, but I think he is a good replacement or a good alternative to Harry Kane.
Absolutely. He keeps everybody busy at the back there, Nicholas Jackson, the Senegalese striker. 26 caps for Senegal, Nicholas Jackson. He scored 5 goals for them and 11 Bundesliga games, 12 games for Bayern Munich, 3 goals in the Bundesliga and 2 in the Champions League. That's not bad at all, is it?
Absolutely not.
So,
Luis Diaz played there back. Oh, that was a really good one there by Rafael Guerrero. No, it was Leon Goretzka.
Good save there by Nübel. And Bayern, the more mature side, Stuttgart more or less picking off where they left off at the end of the first half. But they haven't taken their chances and cruelly had that goal disallowed for offside in the first half. Bayern trying to build from the back, but taking their time. They're the more mature team, and that's no big surprise. Free kick to be taken by Kimmich. He lays it to his left. He finds Jackson. Jackson on the ball. Nicholas Jackson trying to take on the defender. Jackson decides to play to his left to Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz on the ball. Turns, checks. Plays the ball across to Guerrero. Here comes Diaz. Guerrero. Slow build this by Bayern, but this is what makes them so dangerous. They can suddenly see the gap and find their colleague, their teammate, in a good position. Here come Bayern Munich in the Stuttgart half. Jackson on the ball, lays it back to Kimmich. Kimmich plays it out to the left-hand side, and well, they're not making inroads.
They're not making inroads there, but you see
Stuttgart standing very well, defending in numbers, and Bayern forced to play all the way back to Upamecano in the centre circle. Tries to pick out Olise, but it's picked up by Stuttgart. And Bayern, though, regain possession. Here's Upamecano moving forward. Dayot Upamecano. Will he remain at Bayern next season, or will he be moving on? Plenty of interested parties for his signature. Here comes Olise. Olise venturing out on the right wing. That's where he likes to be, Olise, and that was a little trip, but play answers to be a Stieler, and Stuttgart have got the ball, and they played all the way back to Alex Nübel, and it's a wayward ball going nowhere, really. Upamecano's got it checked, and that was a push on Upamecano by Dennis Undav. It's been a very quiet game for Dennis Undav.
It's been a quiet game for Undav, but I would also say it's been a quiet game for Luis Diaz too.
Yeah, very true.
He's not really made tremendous impact so far, but yeah,
it's been a rather lethargic performance by Bayern.
I would say so too.
And they might, obviously, they're going to be tired. That is the reason. They're going to be nearing the winter break.
And with a team like Stuttgart that can be very patient in their game, I guess Bayern has got to be very careful.
Yeah.
Even in their build-up, they have to make sure that while they're building up, that they don't create gaps that Stuttgart can utilize. Right now, we see Goretzka, who got an opportunity, but he was way too fast and lost control of the ball. And a Stuttgart defender managed to clear it off, and a corner throw in now taken by Konrad Laimer for Bayern.
Freiburg have now taken the lead in Heidenheim. It's Heidenheim 0, Freiburg 1, and Mansambi, Johan Mansambi, the Swiss international there, getting the goal for Freiburg. And Heidenheim putting up a brave fight last week, winning their away match. That was an amazing result. And Freiburg, though, doing very well. Heidenheim, of course, scoring those 2 very late goals after the 90th minute at Union Berlin. That made them climb off the foot of the table with that 2-1 win last week. Frank Schmidt's side have moved into the relegation playoff race and to within a point of safety. And Freiburg, though, have won just one of their 6 away games. But it is Freiburg, the team from the Black Forest. They are 1-0 up. They beat Darmstadt 2-0 in the German Cup, meaning they go into this game with renewed belief and are 1-0 up there at Heidenheim.
Things are looking so good for Union right now as Union concedes another goal.
Goodness me, what is up, Buba? What's up with your side? 3-0 to the Wolves.
Crisis.
3-0 to the Wolves. Majer, the scorer there, the Croatian. Wimmer, Amura, and Majer 3-0 to Wolfsburg, and that is certainly a surprise because they've sacked their coach, of course, and we just wonder how come they are suddenly in such good form.
That's right.
Daniel Bauer is the man in charge, but he's an interim coach, and he's been coaching the youth sides there. And let's see what he can do. 3-0 up against Union, and it's a free kick, and the referee going across the monitor. What has he spotted there to be a Stieler? The scoreline here is 1-0 to Bayern.
He's having a word.
He's having a word with Sebastian Hoeneß. Sebastian Hoeneß clearly unhappy about something. Stieler very patiently listening to what the coach has to say. I think he's going to yellow card him, though.
Yeah, he's going to give him a yellow card.
Yellow card for Sebastian Hoeneß, much to the anger of the crowd. Hoeneß very involved in this game, of course. His side are 1-0 down.
A bit emotional, I would say.
Yeah, they could be on level terms. They actually should be on level terms.
Right. But obviously there is something he did or said that the referee was not happy with, which is why he got that yellow card. But I think he tried to explain himself. Referee couldn't buy it, so he gave the yellow card anyways.
Bayern, as it stands, Buba, 11 points ahead of Leipzig. But don't forget, Leipzig play this evening against Frankfurt. But that's a bit depressing, really, to see the lead that Bayern Munich have on all the other sides. They are by far...
The gap is wide.
The gap is so wide. It's depressing for the other Bundesliga sides because year after year we have Bayern walking away with the title.
I have a prediction.
Tell me, Bayern are going to win the title?
Bayern are going to win the title.
Well, that's a brave one to say.
Germany is going to win the World Cup.
Oh, really?
And Bayern are going to win the Champions League.
Okay.
Everything is coming to Germany.
Okay.
It's a joke, of course.
Okay. Here come Bayern with Jackson. Jackson lays the ball across to Olise. Poor ball by Olise, and it's picked up by Stuttgart. Stuttgart trying to break. Here they come, over on that far side. Good work by Stuttgart, trying to go forward. Little bit of space here for Stuttgart.
That's Jimmy Leveling.
Leveling too slow, and Stanisic doing very well to come across. That was a really good opportunity for for Stuttgart. And Stuttgart trying to press Bayern Munich, but it almost came off there. But Stanisic, fresh legs, of course, he came running across, and here's Luis Diaz for Bayern. He's taking on Wagnermann. Luis Diaz on the edge of the penalty area. Luis Diaz gets into the box. Good defending there by Joshua Wagnermann. He forced him over the line. Diaz absolutely furious.
He's so angry, you can actually hear his voice shouting.
But it was not a corner. And Stuttgart trying to build over on that far side. Here they come once more. VfB Stuttgart, little foul. Well, I'll tell you what, Buba, Bayern have not been afraid to foul because here they get another yellow card. They've been pretty rough today.
They're obviously not playing a clean shit game here.
No, look, Goretzka bringing down a Stuttgart player, and he becomes the third Bayern player to go into the book. After Bischoff and Upamecano, Goretzka becomes the third Bayern player to go into the referee's book there. Leon Goretzka, yellow carded, probably his last season in Munich, but we just have to wait and see how things work out for him at the World Cup. And still Stuttgart struggling to find Dennis Undav. I think that is their best chance of a goal. The ball played back to Nübel. Nübel, the goalkeeper of Stuttgart, just outside his box, lays the ball across. Oh, that was pathetic. Goodness me. The control there of Wagnermann, he just let the ball go into touch after a very tame ball from Nübel. Here come Bayern Munich. Jonas Obig in goal. Not been tested at all, has he, Buba?
No. Apart from a few times where he actually had to save a ball.
Like he was tested there. He was tested
like
there,
right
Buba.
now.
What a save by Orbis. And it was Dennis Undav who suddenly let fly. And Orbis showing his class there.
And the ball deflected, actually. Takes it, turned and hit.
Showing his quality there, Jonas Orbis. Look at that. It was Undaf. It was a deflection, and the goalkeeper had it covered and pushed it brilliantly over the crossbar there.
I was just talking about him not being properly tested today, and he just proved me wrong.
Corner to Stuttgart over on that far side. They're taking their time. They've got their supporters just behind them. In it comes. It's another dangerous corner, but it goes over the crossbar there. Well, that was the first real attempt on the Bayern Munich goal, but they've got a keeper in Orbig who did very, very well. Heidenheim have now equalised. It's Heidenheim 1, Freiburg 1, and it's Patrick Meinke, their captain, who has got the equaliser 4.
And we see some drastic changes being made by Bayern right now.
Harry Kane coming on.
Pavlovic,
and Leonard Karl. You wanted to see him.
I wanted to see a fire breather coming in there. I don't know. But he's going to breathe fire on the back of Stuttgart right now.
Leonard Karl coming on, the new whiz kid. Pavlovic coming on, and Harry Kane coming on. And Stuttgart too making a substitution. Chris Führig coming on. So we'll have to keep up with all those substitutions.
So right, Nicholas Jackson is out, Guerrero is out, and who else is out?
Goretzka.
Yeah, Goretzka is out as well.
So, plenty of substitutions. Chris Führig has come on for Nicholas Nartai. Pavlovic has come on for Goretzka. Leonard Karl has come on for Guerrero. Harry Kane has come on for Nicholas Jackson. So, arrested Harry Kane. Let's see what he can do with the remainder of this game. Here's Upamecano charging down the field. Good work. Laid across there. And Bayern Munich trying to go forward in the Stuttgart half. The ball played out to Luis Diaz. On that far side. Diaz plays it back. And Bayern taking their time. Playing the ball around there. And Upamecano picks it up just outside the D. Upamecano, long ball forward. Good work there, trying to pick out Olise, but Olise concedes possession. Olise finds Konrad Laimer, and Laimer does well to pick it up again. Here's Kimmich. Now, this is a more familiar look for Bayern Munich with Kane and
Pavlovic. And
plenty of fresh legs.
That's right.
Over that far side is, of course, Diaz. Diaz tries a back heel, tries to... It doesn't come off though, and Stuttgart have got a chance to go forward. Foul on the Stuttgart player then. It's a free kick, and it's yet another yellow card.
This time around to Stanisic, I think.
Oh, goodness me.
No, actually, Luis
Diaz. So this is the 4th yellow card for Bayern Munich, would you believe? And
incredible. Just incredible.
Yeah.
But this was actually a duel. I don't think this is a yellow card. It was a duel between two players, two shoulder to shoulder, and one went down. There was no proper, you would say, one over the other.
Well, Tobias Stieler's had a difficult afternoon, the referee. What do you say?
He's had a difficult game, but at the same time, he's remaining very friendly, talking to the players. You'd see some referees actually don't take that time to have that conversation, but rather just make a dictatorial decision on the pitch. But Tobias Stieler has been talking to the players. We just saw Harry Kane chatting with him there after that yellow card that went to Luis Diaz, which was not deserved in my opinion.
There is Angelo Stiller trying to organize his troops, and with this massive support that Stuttgart have here at the MHP Arena, formerly, as I told you, known as the Mercedes-Benz Arena. Here's Olise. Olise bearing down on goal. Olise, all he's got to do is lay it across to Luis Diaz. And Luis Diaz. Oh, what a miss by
What
Luis
a wasted
Diaz.
opportunity. Olise dropping down there, but then checked and laid the ball there for Luis Diaz.
All he had to do was roll it past Nubel, but he rolled it past the empty goal. What a chance. He usually takes those chances, though, doesn't he?
Not his day. Not his day
no,
today.
It's certainly not been his day. You're right. You're very right there.
That was an easy ball that Luis Diaz, knowing him, that has caught from impossible positions and couldn't actually convert that one. So,
that should have been definitely not his day. That should have been number 2. Now, at the beginning of the season, they would have scored that goal easily. Easily.
That's right.
Stuttgart not looking very well structured. Let's put it this way. Their moves often breaking down. Bayern been pretty rough till now. Here's Leonard Karl on the ball. It's Kimmich. Kimmich finds Olise. Olise, the center of action the whole time. Here's Kimmich, just outside the D. Kimmich finds Pavlovic. Back to Kimmich. Kimmich lays it across to his left. Bayern want that second goal to calm their nerves. They want to keep that massive lead on Leipzig. Leipzig play this evening against Frankfurt, don't forget. Here come Bayern. Still, they keep possession, and Stuttgart, to be quite honest, Buba, have not been able to trouble them substantially today, have they?
Absolutely not. It's been, I wouldn't say Bayern has played an incredibly good game, but at the same time, they haven't really had a proper challenge there from Stuttgart.
Very true, very well analysed. Bayern haven't looked as dominant in the past few weeks against Union. Don't forget that was a 2-2 draw in the Bundesliga against Freiburg. They were 2-0 down. And, of course, against St. Pauli, when they only got the 2 goals in added time. So Bayern beginning to tire. And before this game, they'd conceded 5 in their last 3 Bundesliga encounters and 4 from set pieces. So Bayern looking very vulnerable at set pieces. There's a Stuttgart player down, the play on, says Tobias Stieler. Harry Kane! Oh, Harry Kane scores! He's not been on the pitch for more than 5 minutes, and Harry Kane scores a good goal there, beating Nübel, runs across to the Bayern supporters, and that is really incredible.
That is incredible, but let's see if that goal is going to be awarded, because Harry...
You never know.
That was the Stuttgart player down. It didn't look like a proper foul, but, you know, once it goes into VAR, it's going to be something else there. Look at that. It was actually Angelo Stiller who went into Pavlovic.
Poor Angelo Stiller.
This is his fault. He went into Pavlovic, who was trying to take a shot. So I don't think... Maybe it's just my opinion here.
Do you think that goal's going to count, Buba?
I feel like it should count.
Harry Kane making it 2-0. He saw the gap. He scored, and he put it beyond Nübel to make it 2-0 to Bayern. And that's his 15th Bundesliga goal this season. And he ran across to the Bayern supporters over on that far left-hand side. And the goal is, I think, going to stand.
The goal looks like it's going to stand, as well as us, Union Berlin, have scored a goal, making it 3-1.
They pull a goal back on Union Berlin, and Bayern make it 2-0 here. Harry Kane gets his 15th goal of the season, 3 assists. 4 of those 15 goals were penalties, and he's converted all those 4 penalties. So they brought him on, and he did his job, Harry Kane. And there's no way I can see Stuttgart coming back. No way.
Right.
2-0 to Bayern here in Stuttgart. Union Berlin pulling a goal back there by Stanley Inzaghi.
Long ball from Stanley, I think, to Olise. Olise actually lost possession there. Took, I think, Chris Führich. Is it Führich? No, Mittelstädt.
Mittelstädt, the left back there, and the ball played back to Nübel. Do you think he should have done better with that Harry Kane effort?
Yeah, I think so. He should have done better.
It took some time to get to the ground.
Yeah, I don't think he expected Harry Kane to actually take that shot.
Shoot, yeah.
But knowing Harry Kane, he's got a really, really good foot.
Yeah.
Really good left foot there by Harry Kane.
So Stanley Inzaghi, the French-Congolese player there, pulling the goal back for Union Berlin at Wolfsburg, but Union 3-1 down. Here's Leonard Karl. Good defending, though, by El Kanous. And Stuttgart trying to play their way out of danger, which is not so easy. And they're forced to play the ball all the way back to Nübel.
Right. Ball back in possession to the Bayern defense. As we see, Jonas Ubik getting the ball. They're looking for Pavlovic. The ball is in the center circle. Harry Kane being brought down there, and the referee calls it for Bayern Munich. It looks like a foul there. And the Stuttgart fans are not happy that the referee is giving that ball. But of course, yeah, they are still in possession. The Stuttgart in the center circle. We have Al-Dakhil. They are playing all the way to the left back. We see Maximilian Mittelstädt looking for a flank there. That looks dangerous. Oh, that was a slightly dangerous tire. Shavagno, man, taking that shot there. It's a bit disappointed as well as Angelo Stillo.
A corner, should that have been?
They're asking for a corner. They're a bit angry that was not called. It looks like, was it deflected? Nope. There was no deflection there.
It was deflected.
I don't think any deflection happened there. But, yeah, I think the Stuttgart fans and their supporters are getting a bit too emotional after their goal was not given, and some of those balls, they're controversial one, and I think they're also not happy after that goal by Harry Kane, because they said Angelo Stillo was fouled and he was on the ground.
Stuttgart, not at their best, but to be quite honest, when I saw the lineup, it looked like a very much a makeshift side there, with Ramon Hendricks and Al-Dakir in central defence, where you'd have expected Jeff Chabot to be there, but he's obviously got an injury problem because he's on the bench, but he's not on the pitch. Bayern Munich are 2-0 up. Harry Kane's goal a few minutes ago, making it looking very safe for another 3 points for Bayern Munich. Let me just remind our listeners that the Premier League, Arsenal have lost for the first time in a long time. They lost by 2-1 at Aston Villa. The winner coming there in the 95th minute. Manchester City are 2-0 up in their game, and that means they're 1 point behind Arsenal.
Very close there.
I wish we had that kind of battle here in Germany.
It would be so entertaining, but this is the Bundesliga. Bayern are leading by 5
Goodness
points.
me. I've lost count of the amount of times, amount of points Bayern are leading. It is...
I think before, up to match day 11 points now.
11 points. And Leipzig, of course, they got a chance to catch up with Bayern, but they played Frankfurt tonight. Cologne have now taken the lead. They're 1-0 up against St. Pauli. And the man of the moment for Cologne is Said El-Mala, and he's done it again.
As usual, the young star who chose to play for Germany, by the way.
He's Lebanese, though.
He's Lebanese-German.
Yeah, Lebanese-German Said El-Mala. And
he's being much talked about right now in the Bundesliga and as well in the German national team.
Well, he might have a chance to win his first cap very soon if he carries on like this.
That's right. That's right.
Said El-Mala.
I think what a good signing there by Cologne. After being promoted into the Bundesliga, I think it was a really good decision by Cologne to sign Said El-Mala.
Well, he came from a very small Cologne club called Victoria Cologne. And the story is he was about to hang up his boots because he was sick of playing football. And it was his brother who convinced him to carry on playing.
Wow.
And he joined Cologne, and nobody knew who this guy was. Said El-Mala.
Victoria Cologne plays in the 3rd division.
In the 3rd division,
yeah,
precisely. Right. And Said El-Mala suddenly began banging in the goals, and he's now on the verge of winning his first cap for Germany.
Wow, that's
Lebanese heritage, of course.
That is a pretty amazing story.
And I wonder if Julian Nagelsmann will be brave enough to risk taking him to the World Cup.
I think in their first game, he should against Curacao. So actually get the kid warmed up a little bit in the international stage.
As Bayern Munich come forward, this is Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz on the ball, but it ricochets around there. To be quite honest, Buba, I don't think Nubel has looked pretty confident today.
Not today. He's been making teeny tiny blunders here and there.
Teeny tiny blunders indeed. Not looked safe as he usually does. I was singing his praises at the beginning of the game, but anyway, Cologne 1-0 up against St. Pauli. There was a similar story with England at the World Cup some years ago. I think it was even the 2006 World Cup, when they had a youngster called Theo Walcott. You might remember him,
Theo Walcott,
of Arsenal. Yeah. And he was taken to the World Cup basically to learn under the coach then. And, well, things didn't really work out in the end for him and England.
That England team, even though they had the likes of John Terry and all that stuff,
Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard,
all the names were fantastic, big names, amazing players.
Wayne Rooney,
but as a team,
it just didn't work.
This sucked.
But I keep having to think of Theo Walcott when I hear this Almada story.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Very similar story.
On comes Assignon for Stuttgart. He is a French Togolese player, Laurent Assignon. On he comes, and Angelo Stiller getting ready to take the throw in for Stuttgart. I think Stuttgart know they're beaten.
That's right. Joshua Wagnerman is out there, being replaced by Laurent Assignon.
Assignon coming on for Wagnerman. I can't really say that any Stuttgart players had a very good game today. I'm especially disappointed with Dennis Undav.
That's right.
Disappointed with
That's
Undav.
right. That's right. But I think for me, though, the Stuttgart man of the match is what a goal shot there!
That was
Harry
a good
Kane
save.
again.
Harry Kane, and that was a really good save.
That's
by
a really
Nubel.
good save. That's right, and he actually pulled that one off, but it wasn't too dangerous as Harry Kane took it with his dangerous left foot, took that shot all the way to the left-hand bar there.
Nubel stretching. And
that's right.
Getting one hand to it, and Harry Kane so close to getting his 16th Bundesliga goal. He's on 15. And let me keep reminding you, last night we also had a game. Mainz, sadly, at the bottom of the Bundesliga, such a likeable club. They lost 1-0 to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Danny da Costa scoring an own goal there.
That's right. Mainz are struggling right now as they've sacked their coach, Bo Henriksen, and struggling to find their form. They've lost a couple of games. I think in the last 5 games, they've lost them in a row.
They're rooted to the bottom of the Bundesliga.
That's right. But I think for me, the mistake they made, they had a really good attacking power that they dismantled last season, selling over their top striker, Johnny Burkhardt to Eintracht Frankfurt. That was a poor decision.
Yeah.
I feel passionate about Mainz because now I live in the state of Rheinland-Pfalz.
All right.
Right.
So you've got to support Mainz there.
I've got to support Mainz, of course.
Very likeable club and a very nice stadium. I remember commentating Germany against Armenia there just before the 2014 World Cup. And Germany won that game 7-1. And it was a brilliant send-off before going to the World Cup in Brazil and winning it.
Right.
I'll never forget that very interesting
what a memory there.
Evening in
2014.
In 2014.
Right.
A 7-1 victory against Armenia, but my favorite Germany game, if I may say so,
the 7-1 against Brazil.
No, the 4-4 draw against Sweden, the World Cup qualifier in 2012 at the.
I don't remember that one.
Berlin Olympic Stadium. Germany were 4-0 up, and Sweden managed to come away with a point 4-4.
What a game.
That was some game. And
what a game. But for me, what I remember, I never leaves my mind, is the 7-1 defeat to Brazil. Yeah. Brazil dismantled by Germany.
Yeah.
I think it was at the Maracana Stadium, right?
It was.
That was crazy.
I think Brazil's still trying to forget that.
They can't forget it. And we still have a photo. We still have a photo of that particular game hanging in the office.
Really?
Right.
Without Neymar, of course, Brazil were. They were without Neymar because he got injured against Colombia. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah. Here come Bayern. This is Luis Diaz, who's had a so-so game. Luis Diaz, good skills there. On the ball, turning, twisting.
What a shot there. Get another blunder. We've got a goal.
Big mistake by Nubel. Pretty much of a nightmare today, Alex Nubel. Did you see that, Buba?
I saw the similar mistake.
First half, it was the same kind of mistake. He was lucky there. The ball squirmed under his body. Luckily for Nubel, it didn't cross the line. But this time, it did. And Stanisic is celebrating 3-0 to Bayern. And I'm afraid Nubel will want to forget this game.
He can't forget it. But what a brilliant play there by Luis Diaz.
Oh, when you watch the replay, goodness me. Stanisic was unmarked. And it wasn't a very hard shot.
It was not a very hard shot either. But Nubel looks like he's tittering today. Maybe, I guess, because he's playing against Bayern.
Oh, that was a big, big mistake by Alexander Nubel. I feel sorry for him. He knows he was at fault. And he got away with that in the first half. Not this time. He let the ball pass through his hands. 3-0 Bayern. And things looking very easy for Bayern this afternoon.
I do not see any possibility of Stuttgart coming away from this.
No. Leimer, Kane and Stanisic, the scorers today for Bayern Munich, and 0 for Stuttgart. No effort, really. Well, we mustn't forget that offside goal scored by Wagnermann, I think it was, in the first half, but was offside.
Right.
There's another Stuttgart player, two Stuttgart players
Stuttgart
down.
are calling for a foul there.
Stieler, is that?
Is it Stieler again? No, this time around it's Jamie labeling.
Do you think the referee is looking at the Bayern bonus again?
I think if you're a Stuttgart fan, that's how you'd call it. But in football-wise, that was a clash.
That was a clash.
It wasn't an intentional clash.
Exactly.
So I don't see any point why the referee had to call that one.
No. But of course, the very partisan crowds here, Stuttgart, at the Cannstatt-Ende there, that's where they stand, the red and white masses.
Harry Kane being Harry Kane, taking that shot there for Olise.
Olise cuts inside.
Having an easy one.
Saved on the line by Alcignon.
It looks like it's a handball there. It's a penalty.
Is it handball?
The referee has called the penalty right away.
Decision.
No, referee has given it immediately.
And it's a red card as well. Goodness me, Alcignon sent off. What is going on? He just came in
and he has to go out.
Oh, it's been a terrible afternoon for Stuttgart.
Look at that one.
What happened there?
Look, he went like he did.
All right, he used his arm.
He elbowed the ball.
And Alcignon, who came on a few moments ago, is sent off for handball on the line. Olise was leading the protests there.
But actually, there is no argument there. No. Alcignon actually elbowed the ball, and I don't know why he actually protested it. So now he's caused a penalty. Of course, Harry Kane is going to score that one, and he's got a red card, and now they're one man down.
Alcignon, quite frankly, looks shocked, Buba. He looks completely shocked. He came on a few minutes ago, and he sent off. Harry Kane going to take the penalty here. The penalty, can Nubel do something to stop him? Harry Kane with a very short run to take the penalty. Bayern 3-0 up. Harry Kane, can he make it 4? He's got Nubel to beat, but he goes to the penalty spot to arrange the ball and put it properly on the penalty spot. Somehow changed his mind there, Harry Kane. Maybe he's thinking of another run-up. Harry Kane going to take the penalty. He's scored all 4 of them this season. He's got Nubel to beat.
Is that going to be 5 penalty for Harry Kane? Yes, it is.
Harry Kane scores and Bayern are 4-0 up. And Harry Kane gets his 16th goal of the season, would you believe?
Wow. Just wow.
Harry Kane from the penalty spot again. It's his 5th penalty this season. And while the moment he came on, things began to go Bayern's way because he made it... He made it 3-0.
Yep.
A few minutes after coming on, and now he's made it 4-0. So it's a nightmare afternoon for Stuttgart. They've not played well at all. They've had a man sent off, and their goalkeeper has committed some serious errors there.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, Buba, the bad news is for Stuttgart, there are another 8 minutes of normal time remaining.
It's a tough day, and I guess Stuttgart would wish that this comes to an end immediately. But you see the stadium is getting empty already.
They're all
Fans are going
leaving.
home.
They're all leaving.
They're all leaving.
The Stuttgart supporters are going home. Upamecano has done enough. He's coming off. And Ito, the Japanese defender who, of course, was injured for such a long time.
Right.
Good to see him back. Hiroki Ito used to play for Stuttgart, of course, before he joined Bayern, and he comes on for Upamecano. So I think, Buba, Stanisic will move into central defence alongside Min Jae-Kim, and Ito, who is a left-back, will be playing alongside the South Korean.
And speaking of Stanisic, he just had a minor blunder there. Lost possession of the ball. Then he's soon up playing in the center circle. That's the ball on over to the defender there. Stuttgart are playing it easy right now, but of course they've got to hurry up, because if they do not, they might not actually be able to score a goal here.
Goodness me, what an afternoon it's been for Stuttgart. What an afternoon. Frustration all around for Stuttgart. The goalkeeper, the strikers, the goal disallowed. They've been involved in Europe, of course. I remember watching their 4-0 win in Deventer against Go Ahead Eagles in the Europa League. After that, Sebastian Hoeneß made 7 changes for that game against Hamburg, which they lost 2-1.
Oh, brilliant ball there by Luis Diaz. Gets the ball, takes it, turns around, shoots, but the ball deflected onto a Stuttgart player.
But where is Undaf? We've not seen him at all.
I haven't seen much of Undaf either.
Stuttgart's record signing from Brighton and Hove Albion, and he's been such a success, but not today. Not today. Bayern, of course, as we told you, looking to rebuild. Say Lucas is another young Brazilian who plays for Sporting Recife. He could replace Goretzka. They've also got their eye on Nathan de Kaart of Anderlecht, and a young German player called Kenneth Eichhorn of Hertha Berlin, possibly a Bayern target. And interestingly, Buba, if Upamecano is to leave, Bayern would be interested in signing Castello Luqueba of Leipzig.
Ah, really?
The young Frenchman there who's forced his way into the Leipzig defense. They're playing very well. And of course, other targets are Schlotterbeck and possibly Ibrahima Konate, who's at Liverpool. Plenty of rumours, of course. Min Jae Kim possibly to AC Milan. He knows the Serie A well because he used to play for Napoli, Min Jae Kim, before he came to Bayern.
That's right.
Here come Bayern once more. Do they want their 5th goal? Well, they've been in control all afternoon. There's no other way you can put it. They've been in control all afternoon, Bayern. And the Bayern supporters already celebrating the title, quite understandably, as Olise does well to get hold of the ball, lays it back to Kane. Kane, can he get his hat-trick? But Stuttgart doing well to clear, but it's picked up by Stanisic for the chance here for Stuttgart to break. Bayern getting back in numbers, though. Opportunity for El Khanous to break into the penalty area. Can Stuttgart get a consolation goal? The ball played into the penalty area, into the hands of the goalkeeper. And
I would say it was an okay play there by Jamie Leveling, who actually shot that ball. But yeah, it wasn't as dangerous as it looked.
So Kane was never going to miss that penalty, was he?
No way. He wasn't going to miss that. I mean, his accuracy is very, very good.
Here's Olise once more. Bayern want that 5th goal. They wouldn't be Bayern if they weren't trying to get a 5th goal. Olise lays the ball across. Chance here for Pavlovic, but he finds Konrad Laimer, who opened the scoring here with that brilliant goal early on. And Bayern beginning to toy with Stuttgart now. Pavlovic finds Lennart Karl. He finds Olise. Bayern really enjoying themselves.
They are enjoying themselves. They actually play within the nooks and crannies of Stuttgart.
Yeah. And Stuttgart not really trying to get hold of the ball. They've given up. It's been a very poor performance. Opportunity here for Kane. Kane's in the box. Heavy challenge. But play on, says the referee. Bayern want that 5th goal, I can tell you that. They're 4-0 up. Stuttgart with a red card, and they should be putting up a little bit more resistance for their supporters at least. Here's Konrad Laimer, lays the ball across to Olise. Olise does well to get to the byline.
Oh, another goal again, Harry Kane.
5, and Harry Kane gets his hat-trick.
Harry Kane gets the hat-trick. What a beautiful ball there by Olise.
Olise, the architect of the goal. He did all the hard work, played the ball across, and there was Harry Kane. Is it goal number 17? I think I've lost count of the goals.
It is goal number 16, I think. Well, maybe after his hat-trick today, it is goal number 17. Let me just see. I'll check that and confirm that a bit later.
Oh, I can't
But
believe
at the same time, as Heidenheim have also put one past Freiburg. So Heidenheim are leading Freiburg by 2-1.
That is a surprise scoreline there indeed. And Harry Kane gets his hat-trick, and nobody thought that was going to be possible. When he came on, the game was still relatively balanced. But Harry Kane, when he came on, he made such a difference. He scored a hat-trick. Undorf coming off in frustration there, Dennis Undorf.
Right.
A very dispirited-looking Stuttgart bench, and they've got every reason to be dispirited because They've given up, Buba. They've given up, and that's not professional, is it?
That's right. Harry Kane, by the way, has scored 17 goals, 3 assists, 5 penalties, all 5 penalties, 100%.
Karasol, Atakan Karasol, the Turkish midfielder, now on to Jamie Leveling, and Finn Jeltsch on for Dennis Undorf, who's had a really poor game. I can't really remember one situation where he almost, where he was in a dangerous position. So Finn Jeltsch was a defender, and Stuttgart would be just hoping to hear the final whistle as soon as possible.
I guess so. With 5 goals to nil, obviously this is something that they might want to put behind them. Kimmich with that ball for Harry Kane.
Harry Kane almost getting his head to that ball. He scored a hat-trick and he wants more, would you believe?
He wants more. He wants to make it 4 personal goals today against Stuttgart.
17 Bundesliga goals for Harry Kane. And I think Jonathan Burkhardt is on 8, so way behind him.
Right.
And of course, Burkhardt is injured.
Burkhardt is injured, yeah. That's right. And I think Harry Kane is going to be the new boogeyman to Stuttgart right now.
Goodness, he's looking for that 4th goal, would you believe? Here's Pavlovic. Pavlovic on the ball for Bayern, slipping the ball forward. And we're just going to be told how much added time there's going to be. Bayern playing Stuttgart off the park this afternoon, especially in that second half when Harry Kane came on and he made such a difference.
Right.
3 goals for Harry Kane. And Stuttgart, they'll want to forget this game.
They'll want to forget that one. And right now, Alex, that was just a beautiful shot there by Harry Kane, but it looked like he wasn't offside. So if he had scored that goal, it would not have counted. But I would say a really brilliant ball by Harry Kane, and at the same time, goalkeeper Alex Nubel was also very good at saving that ball.
Well, the fastest player on the pitch, Jamie Leveling. So that is
that doesn't surprise me.
Slight consolation
for
Stuttgart. Jamie Leveling hitting 34.8 kilometers an hour. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all, I think.
Well, in added time, 4 minutes of added time, Stuttgart could do without those 4 minutes.
Right. I think they should just tell the referee, please call the game now to an end.
Yeah.
We do not want to conceive anyone, but of course, that is not in their decisions.
But, you know, we've done Stuttgart quite a few times in the past seasons, and this has been their poorest performance.
This is, for me as well, the worst Stuttgart game I've seen. I've watched them play in the stadium too against Cologne, and they were pretty okay.
Yeah.
At that time, they had Sheo Girassi and their Congolese striker,
Silas
as well.
Very true. Yeah, they lost Girassi, and that was a big loss, a big player to lose, Girassi. And, well, Hoeneß certainly loves to rotate, especially after midweek matches, but today he rotated a bit too much, I'd say. Harry Kane on 17 goals, Johnny Burkhardt on 8, Luis Diaz on 7, Undorf on 7, miles behind Kane. And Stuttgart just want this game to finish. But credit to their supporters, Buba. They're still waving their red and white flags.
That's right. I think these are the ultras who are there, the normal, I don't know how to call them, the normal fans. Most of them have gone, left the stadium.
Yeah. The very dedicated Stuttgart supporters, the most dedicated amongst them, remaining to cheer on their team in these very painful final minutes. It's 5-0 to Bayern. Let me remind you, 5-0, a hat-trick by Harry Kane. And Stuttgart, well, this can happen, of course, a poor performance. And if they're not careful, they're going to concede a 6th. Because here come Bayern Munich again. Don't forget, Stuttgart down to 10, but that was pretty late, that red card. So we can't say it's because they were down to 10.
I think we're in the last minutes now of this match. Bayern on the offensive on the left-hand side with Luis Diaz struggling there to go past the Stuttgart defender as Konrad Laimer takes the ball, leaves it out in the hands of Leonard Karl. Leonard Karl takes a shot away to Harry Kane. Harry Kane's header deflected into the hands of Nubel.
Harry Kane with a smile on his face. 3 goals after coming on. I mean, nobody could have seen that coming. Really.
No way, I didn't even see that. I knew maybe if he comes in, he might get at least, at most 1 goal.
And there goes the final whistle.
That's right. Here goes the final whistle. A brilliant day for Vincent Company. A good day for Bayern as they go home with 5 goals and 3 points.
Company comes across to hug Sebastian Hoeneß. It was a very poor Stuttgart performance, and Atakan Karazor coming across to have a word with the referee. But what can you do? It was, I wouldn't even say, Buba, that this was Bayern at their best.
It is not Bayern at their best. Bayern played a bit more administrative, not
maybe Harry Kane at his best.
Harry Kane came in there. I mean, I wouldn't really say it's one of the best games Harry Kane's have played. It's just like it happened to be at the right places at the right time. And given the quality that he has, he gets the shot and then he puts them at the back of the net in the right way that the goalkeeper does not expect. So, yeah, it's been a brilliant day for Bayern, even though they didn't play a best game, and a really bad day for Stuttgart. And as you rightly put it before, their coach, Hoeneß, likes to rotate, and today was a bad decision.
A very bad decision. I mean, this is the first time, incidentally, that Stuttgart dropped points at home. They've been strong at home, but they've won all their 5 home games before this one, but they've been beaten heavily by Bayern, 5-0. Let me just go through the goal scorers again. It was Konrad Laimer in the 11th minute who put that brilliant goal. It was a back heel past Alex Nubel. Then Kane came on in the second half. He made it 2-0. Stanisic, another substitute, who'd come on. He made it 3-0. Then Laurence Assignon was sent off. And then Harry Kane made it 4-0 from the penalty spot. And then 2 minutes from time, Harry Kane made it 5-0. So a hat-trick for Harry Kane for Bayern Munich, taking his tally to 17 goals. Do you think he'll be as successful at the World Cup, Uba?
Harry Kane, no doubt.
Because when he plays for England, he doesn't look as good as when he plays for Bayern.
That's right. I don't know. I think maybe because you have a German coach who is coaching the England squad.
Who knows, of course, Harry Kane.
He knows Harry Kane very well.
Thomas Tuchel coached Bayern last season.
That's right.
The season before last, yeah.
So I think because of that connection,
you know how to get the best out of it.
That's right. And Harry Kane is the kind of player who is very experienced. So when you have him on the pitch, you've got to rely on him. And you don't just put him there just because of having a player there. So I think if Tuchel does that, it might be good for him for the England squad. But of course, not going to be an easy one. Actually, I think for those who heard my report in this halftime show, Tuchel said that they dare to dream. They dare to dream big.
Yeah.
And they are going there to lift this cup.
Well,
they're not going there to play. They are going there to lift this cup.
I think England had a very difficult draw. They faced Croatia.
Yeah.
That is difficult. And
how is it going to feel for you, though, if England wins that?
I just can't believe it. I wouldn't believe it. I mean, that is just so far away.
Would you say you're more German than English now?
No.
Not really.
No.
Okay.
I love the Bundesliga.
I know.
But World Cup, England. But it's usually pain when England play at the World Cup. So, it always ends in disappointment.
Yeah.
But you never know. There's been a goal in Cologne, would you believe? And St. Pauli have got the equaliser in the 94th minute. So a 1-1 there. Ricky Jade Jones, talking of English players, he's an English player who got a very rare appearance. He signed from Peterborough United, would you believe? Ricky Jade Jones getting a very late equaliser there to make it St. Pauli 1. Sorry, Cologne 1, St. Pauli 1. Disappointment there for Cologne. Let's go through the other score lines. Augsburg, they've beaten Leverkusen by 2-0. And Heidenheim, as you said, Buba, they've beaten Freiburg 2-1. What a goal. That was another very late goal in the 94th minute. Schimmer getting the winner there against Freiburg after Manzambi had given Freiburg the lead. Meinke and Schimmer turning on the style, and Heidenheim, to their credit, making a real attempt to stay in the Bundesliga when many people had written them off. They are now in the relegation playoff place. They've climbed up the table. So let me just give you the bottom of the table, which is more exciting than the top of the table because Bayern have got a massive lead of 11 points. The bottom of the table is sad to see Mainz right at the bottom there on 6 points. St. Pauli getting a very good point at Cologne. Been a good week for St. Pauli. They are, though, in the relegation position in 17th, 2 points ahead of Mainz. And Heidenheim have leapfrogged those clubs and are now on 11 points in 16th position. And Hamburg, of course, they play on Sunday against Werder Bremen. That is the North German battle. And Borussia Dortmund, they play Hoffenheim. So Dortmund, of course, have to make up for that very big disappointment that they were knocked out of the German Cup. They'll be very disappointed there at losing that that game. And Borussia Dortmund playing Hoffenheim tomorrow on Sunday, and that's going to be a big one. And Leipzig is the late kickoff against Eintracht Frankfurt. Buba, let's just go back to that World Cup draw.
That's right. I was actually going to remind you of that. If we've seen right now, some teams have already learned who their opponents are going to be, like Mexico, which is going to be the opening game. It's
against South Africa.
Bafana of South Africa. So I'm so looking forward to that particular match.
They play Mexico and Republic of Korea, South Korea.
That's right. And on the Group B, Canada have not learned who their opponent is going to be yet. So I'm looking forward to that one because I think I'm leaning a bit towards Canada as well. Brazil will be playing another African giant, Morocco. So that's going to be a brilliant.
Amazing that all the North African sides have qualified.
That's right. They did.
Egypt, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco.
They did really well.
Brilliant.
And I'm so happy for them as well.
Yeah.
And the US also learned that their opponent is going to be Paraguay. So that's going to be a brilliant one. Germany also know who they're going to play in their opening match. That's going to be Curacao.
And Cote d'Ivoire in the German group.
That's right.
Ivory Coast.
And Ecuador.
That's going to be difficult for Germany against the Ivory Coast.
Right. Netherlands will be playing Japan in their own opening match. And they also have another African giant there, Tunisia. They haven't learned who they will be playing with in Group F. In Group G, we have Belgium, Egypt. That's their own opening match. That's going to be a brilliant one as well. Having Mo Salah taking on Kevin De Bruyne. So it's going to be it's going to be a tough day for them. Iran playing New Zealand there. And in Group H, Spain against Cape Verde. I don't know how that's going to sound or feel like.
Goodness me, Cabo Verde, Spain, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. What a group that is.
What a group that is. But what I'm actually looking forward to Group I, that is France, Senegal. You remember that World Cup where Senegal played and beat France?
Yes.
I can't forget that
Nicholas Jackson will be facing France and Erling Haaland with Norway.
That's right. And Norway, this for me is one of the most dangerous groups in this particular draw because Norway right now, France are pretty strong, Senegal are really good. So let's see who's going to join them in that group. And Group J, Argentina having another African giant, Algeria in the opening match, and then Austria and Jordan there. Portugal don't know who they will be playing yet in Group K, but Uzbekistan will be playing with Colombia.
And of course, in that group, Democratic Republic of Congo might join them in that if they come through the playoffs.
So they might, the DRC, if they do qualify, then they might have to play against Portugal in this particular group. Let's see what happens there. And one of the most furious, I don't know what to pull them. That's the Group L, England, Croatia. Yeah. I think that's going to be a really tough one.
I'd rather not watch that one. Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one. If I were you, I also wouldn't watch that one.
Yeah.
Ghana would also be playing Panama, and that's going to be dramatic because those Panamanians, they are agile, they are fast, and they are really good.
Yeah, and the experience at World Cup tournaments, Ghana.
That's right.
Very good side. Mohamed Kudus playing very well in the Premier League.
Right. Although they didn't qualify for the AFCON, which will be starting very soon. So it was a bit sad to not see Ghana there. But
I'll tell you what's sad, it's also not to see Nigeria at the World Cup.
It's so disappointing. I was so looking forward
to. We really were sorry for our Nigerian friends.
I'd already gotten my jersey already. The Super Eagle jersey, waiting to celebrate for them. But yeah, they didn't do that.
Okay, time's up. Thanks for listening to us on DW Radio. From me, Alex Sisto. Hope to catch you again next week.
And from me, Buba Jallo, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for listening. Until then, enjoy your weekend and have a nice one. Bye.